Hello, my name is Gina with MyGPass.com and North American Title. I'm here with Jeff Quintin from the Jeff Quintin Super Team in Ocean City, New Jersey. And Jeff, among many of your other achievements, you've been ranked number 144 out of almost 1.2 million realtors in the United States. And I just have a few questions for you from realtors in other markets that would love to know about some of your successes and failures and how you got where you are today.
Sure, no problem.
Cool. First question is what makes you unique from other real estate agents?
I'll tell you, it's a great question because there's a lot of unique agents out there. And what I think makes me unique is, I guess, a few things. One is work ethic. I think right now, determinability, I guess, or being determined. I think that makes me unique is that I can outwork people more than most people usually are working. I'm just determined for whatever reason to be successful. So, I have a certain drive, and that makes me a little bit more unique than most people. I set goals every year. I have business plans, weekly plans, daily plans. I have a vision, I have a focus. So that in itself is a little bit more unique than the most average realtor, I think.
That brings me to another question down my list, which is what drives you? Obviously,
Yeah.
Success is a driver, but what else drives you? Is there anything else that you can put your finger on?
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of things I think drive me, and certainly there's a lot of items and things that drive me. Everybody wants to have a nice car, a nice house, and things like that, which certainly does drive me, having those material type things. But I think that what really the why, why I do what I do, ultimately is to it goes back, I guess, in this, I don't want to live the life that I had as a child, I'll be honest with you. I think it's going back to say, my parents really struggled, and we certainly got by and things were good, but, I don't want to have the type of life that I lived as a kid, and I'm kind of a reaction from both my parents. So what's driving me is always, I think, thinking back that, I want to have the most extraordinary life as possible. I want to be able to provide for my kids. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to give them a good education. I want to be able to have a nice home and a nice car and be able to have to not worry about money. There's a time when I remember, back in 7th, 8th grade, my mom's car got repossessed. That in my mind each day is something I'm really just saying to myself, I don't want to have that type of life. You know what I mean? But ultimately, right now my vision and goal is to be able to be financially independent, not have to worry about, every day about bills and things like that. So that does drive me, money itself. But it's not about the money, it's about what I can do with the money.
Sure, the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess it comes down to freedom and security. I guess is really what it comes down to. If you really look at the big picture.
Right.
So I think that drives me a lot.
Okay. More than others.
Yeah. I think so. I don't know.
Yeah. And how do you remain focused and when you hit tough times?
We've all been through some tough times, I think, and especially the last couple of years, especially the economy and the market. I remained focused. And again, I go off just like I think most people do. Focus and then lose focus and become very complacent, comfortable with the status quo, if you will. But I think that surrounding myself with other like-minded people, and I'm really exposed into other areas throughout the country and other top realtors and top people in business, and being able to see what other people do really opens my eyes up a lot. So I think that what I've been able to do, fortunate enough, is have the exposure being out there and being introduced to some really good agents across the country that are doing a whole lot more than me. And I've been very coachable with that. So, getting me through these hard times or when tough times are, being surrounded by other supportive agents going through the same thing, or being also exposed to people doing a lot more and say, wow, if that guy can do it, I can do it. And even in this market, so just getting out of your box a little bit rather than just, staying in close by.
Okay. If you had to do it all over again, what would you change?
Let me ask, as far as in the real estate business or in general?
I would say in your career.
In the real estate business, well, I'll tell you, it's an interesting thought. If I was to get back in a business again, I'm not so sure it would be real estate itself. It may be in the insurance business. I'll say, and the reason why I like the insurance business is you sell a policy today and you get paid for it after each year the policy renews. The challenge in the real estate business is you make a good commission check, but it's only once, over again. So if I was to do it over again, I might look to have some type of more passive, repetitive, ongoing type of income from a sale, more residual, exactly. But I would say as far as in real estate, what I do all over again, I mean, I've been blessed. I really have with the success I have. I'm not saying I redo things all over again. I would say that, you know, right now, I would have hired an assistant sooner in my career. And as I tell a lot of agents, if you can, as soon as you can afford that, really start delegating a lot of the non-income activities to someone else. So I think doing it over again, I would have delegated a lot more. I would have gotten coaching earlier. You know, I didn't get exposed to the Mike Ferry organization, who has been coaching me for a long time in my business, until I was about 11 years in business. But I tell you, if I would do it all over again, I would have signed up day one, because I probably wouldn't be having the conversation today, and I would have probably been retired, in my opinion, at least financially, in a position to turn it off and retire 10 years earlier, because they've helped me really explode, you know, my business from where it was to where it is now.
Okay.
So I think coaching and so forth would have really
That's
helped.
paramount to any real estate agent. That would be your advice.
100%.
Coaching.
And I think that if you look at any type of successful person, especially if you look at people in sports, you know, Tiger Woods, you know, one of the greatest golfers ever, he's got 4 or 5 different coaches. He's got a swing coach, a putting coach. You know, anybody you talk to out there has some type of influence, mentor, coach of some sort. It just, when it comes into real estate, most people don't think of it as a business, or they don't think of
that's
it.
the issue. They don't think of it as a business.
Exactly. So I think
Struggling agents.
Yeah, I think that if you know, coaching has been a big step, and I would have done it a lot sooner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is your role model?
I tell you, I got a lot of different people that I have as role models, and like out there. I mean, locally, you know, people that I'm friends with, that are friendly role models, and then obviously more popular. You know, Donald Trump, for example. You know, he's in his development and his vision and all is kind of cool. I like to read a lot of books. You know what I mean? So, like I'm reading the Steve Jobs books right now. Not to say he's my role model, but I'm reading it. I'll tell you, a role model I really think is brilliant is Richard Branson. You know, from the Virgin Records and Virgin Airlines, and I mean, he's the guy who absolutely hit bottom and is you know, now billionaire. So that really inspires me. People like that. You know, a lot of the self-made people, not these guys that were just born with money and things like that. A lot of guys who made it on their own, maybe not so much educated, are a lot of the role models that I like. Those kind of guys.
Okay.
And a lot of, I mean, you know, I think as a role model, you take certain amount away from certain people. Not everybody has the perfect life, you know, but if you can take a little bit from this guy, a little bit from that guy, or this gal, whatever it may be. I mean, Oprah, for example, she's an unbelievable, you know, role model. You know, so I've got a bunch of them, you know.
Good. That brings me to what, you know, you said what you were reading, but what's in your iPod, or as far as music or audio?
As far as audio, like as far as iPod books and things, I mean, and that's what I do. I do a lot of audio books. So in my car right now, I've got, you know, it's a 6 CD changer. There's Russell Simmons. It's called I forget the name of the book. Super Rich, it's called. And like a guy like that, you know, someone who's grew up on the streets. I mean, this book is awesome. Somebody you never think of. That, you know, like a 50 Cent's book. You ever read it before?
No, I haven't.
Get Rich and Die Trying, right? Like the movie, right? Amazing book, amazing. But somebody you never think, someone from the hood that gets shot up 9 times, you know, has all these, you know, lives, that could actually take himself from being a drug dealer to building a huge business as a rapper, producer, artist, the whole thing, and then selling, you know, vitamin water for $50 million or whatever he sold it for. You know, so you know that's been in my car. But right now it's I've got Super Rich in there. I've got right now I've got Howard Schultz's book in there, the CEO and owner of Starbucks.
Gotcha.
Learning about Starbucks. So that kind of stuff. I had Andre Agassi's biography in there, autobiography in there. Yeah, so a lot of I like to read about people itself. You know, biographies themselves. But I've got a whole stack, and especially over there in that little library right there, those cabinets. I've got, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of books and audiobooks. And it depends on what time of year, whatever I'm thinking in my head, whatever I want to be inspired by, I'll go in and pull one out.
Right. How about music? What are you listening to?
I'm listening to, you know, listen to a lot of different stuff. You know, typically I like normal, you know, top 40 kind of stuff that's out there right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Anything that you go to that's consistent?
No, I wouldn't say. Just whatever's out there. I mean, you know, as far as like, I mean, last year we went to Black Eyed Peas, you know, concert.
Yeah, I did too, actually. I was there.
Oh, were you there? Okay, cool. Yeah. Went to Madonna the year before that.
Mm-hmm.
Who else I've seen? You know, so, you know, mostly all that kind of stuff. I'm not really into hard rock and stuff like that.
So listening to you, 3 of your, I guess, role model mentions were in the music industry. And I believe we had a conversation once before about going to the Grammys being one of your goals. So it is one of your bucket list items, and have you completed that? But is one of your bucket list items related to the music industry?
Yeah, I love to go there. Sure.
Okay.
Yep. No, I mean, I'd love to be surrounded by that, you know, environment. There's that many successful people.
Yep.
And that, so I've not achieved the Grammys yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that stands out on your bucket list that you'd like to mention?
I'll give you an example. This year and possibly next month in March, I was supposed to do it last December, was to go to one of Tony Robbins' events. So on the
You haven't
bucket
done
list,
that yet?
I haven't done that
Okay.
yet.
Those are amazing.
There's one called Date with Destiny, so I want to do that one, and there's another one called Business Mastery, but you kind of go to the Date with Destiny one first. It's where they do the firewalking and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
You know, but I think, so for example, Tony Robbins is a mentor for me. This is some guy that's not going to be around forever, and you know, he's probably only got a few more years as far as speaking and traveling and doing what he does, because he's getting, you know, up there. I'm sure he's going to retire at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But these kind of icon people that are influencers in people's lives, you know, I think if you can get in front of these guys, or at least meet them at some point, or go to their events, they're life changing. So he's on my list this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you want to be remembered when your time is up on Earth?
Gosh, it's a great question. You know, it's like the dash. You know what the dash is?
No.
The dash is what counts. It's the year that you're born to the year you died. So it's in the middle, right?
Right.
So what that's about. So the dash, right? So I guess, you know, I want to be remembered as a you know, a loving, caring father. You know what I mean? Because my kids mean everything. You know, loving, caring husband if I decide it and get married again. You know, with regards to that, because I don't want to be single the rest of my life, and I've got a great girl in my life now, and we're going to probably get married here soon. So ultimately, that would be, you know, a great accomplishment to be remembered by. And, you know, I guess a loving, caring son as well, you know, because I love my mom, you know. And just a guy that could have influenced others and shared and contributed to other people to have a better life from just what I've learned. I mean, I enjoy being able to help others, and I get, you know, a thrill out of that. It's almost like I was talking to a guy yesterday from an agent from Colorado that wanted to hire me as a coach, and I'm not really a coach. I said, look, you know, I'm not sure a real estate coach, but I think more I'm a better player than I am as a coach. But I said I would certainly talk to him on a weekly basis or a monthly basis or yearly, whenever he wants to be mentored. And that I was telling him about what I went through and how I did what I do, and that kind of, you know, excites me to see other people be successful. So, you know, I guess to be remembered to help others and was a contributor.
Okay. This is relating back to work and your recommendations for beginning agents or agents trying to break through the next level. What would you say was your best spend of marketing dollars this year?
Direct marketing, well, I think the best spent dollars in general is, obviously I mentioned before, coaching.
Right.
Okay, not that that's direct marketing anyway, but being able to hire a coach that keep you accountable, confront you, give you the skills, the ideas, that's been obviously for many years an incredible amount of return. Another thing to invest in is staff, making sure you have the right staff, the right assistant that can take care of a lot of the administrative work side. So, you know, I'm saying to somebody today, rather than go spend $10,000 a year or $4,000 a month on a postcard mass mailing, put it into something that's going to allow you to go out and be more productive with your time, and then delegate some of these other things away. So that is what I would say that is probably first and foremost on marketing. The next marketing thing on return, you know, I do a lot of internet. No, I don't do a lot of internet marketing. I do a lot of email internet marketing. So being able to build my database with email addresses and database through that, and then feeding it with good content and kind of putting myself as more of an expert, you know, and really building that side of my business. That's really gave a big return this year. So. That's been good.
Blogging, web, social media, things like that.
Yeah, just create my own blog and then ultimately getting good content and then sending it to my database. But you gotta have a database, make sure it's gonna be opted in and wants to hear it.
True.
So working on that. That's what's
And
really
you think that's a better, obviously, I feel like it's a good combination of print and web these days. Do you do print marketing?
Not a lot.
No.
Not a lot. I mean, I certainly do some things here and there and do some postcards here and there, but not a major portion of my business. It's mostly online, mostly on internet, meaning email marketing. Print that way. In other words, email flyers and stuff like that.
Okay.
We're sending out.
Well, I think that concludes my questions. Is there anything you want to add, advice to agents that are trying to break through to the next level, besides coaching?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you've got to. Okay, so here's what I would say, and I said this to this guy yesterday. I said, look, there's 4 letters. I said, as long as you keep with an agent to be productive, to go to the next level, you got to remember these 4 letters. The 4 letters, and it's the word plan, P-L-A-N, right? So you got to prospect, meaning you have to go out and find the business. You can't wait for it to come to you. L is going to stand for lead follow-up. So you got to make sure you follow up with all your leads that come in, because people, lose leads. They don't follow up people, and they get too many leads. They get overwhelmed, and they don't follow up. So lead follow-up. The A stands for appointments. You got to make sure when you're calling, you're getting appointments. If you can't get in front of people, you're not going to be able to make a deal. And then lastly, N is for negotiating. Those 4 things, prospect, lead, follow-up, appointments, negotiating, is really, you have to spend 75% of your day in that area. That's your lead generation, your lead income area. The other 25% of your day has to be spent servicing that. And most agents today have it upside down.
Right.
They're spending all their day chasing a deal, worrying about the home inspection issues, trying to negotiate that, calling the seller back because the agent didn't give any feedback, or the dog got locked out because of the showing, and all this other crap that goes on. They're spinning, and at the end of the day, they didn't create any income for themselves. They didn't get a listing, they didn't talk to a seller who wants to sell, they didn't work with a buyer who wanted to buy, they didn't put a deal together. So at the end of the day, and then finally at 6 o'clock at night, they say, okay, well, all the phones stopped ringing, well, now maybe I can start making a call or two to follow up. And that's the normal agent out there today. And unfortunately, their average production is low. So I'd say that they've got to get their days scheduled and structured, where 75% of their day is in lead generation activities, and the other 25% is delegated, or 20% is servicing it, but everything else otherwise got to be delegated to somebody to help you do what you do best. And that's the challenge, is most agents are doing the activities that an assistant can be doing.
Sure. I think that's valuable advice. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you sitting down with me.
Anytime. Hopefully it was helpful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.